Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, Game 1 of the new wild card format, Cardinals, Mets. Oh my goodness, we gotta talk about it. Woo! Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. Use code Talkin today. You get 20% off your first time using SeatGeek. $20 off, excuse me. Trevor Plouffe, we got to get into it right away, man, because it is, I'll go corny at first, kind of like a historic day for baseball, the first day of a new playoff format. And what that feels like and the energy from noon to midnight today. How are you doing, Big Daddy?
Everybody's got a plan to get punched in the mouth. I think Mike Tyson said it. So sure, hey, you want to save DeGrom for game 1 of the NLDS? Probably not going to do that anymore. What a day of baseball. It started at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I was sitting in front of my TV. I don't do that. I'm an active guy, Jake.
Yeah.
I watched it all. It was a beautiful sight. The first game, we're going to get into it, but boy, oh boy, that thing was moving. It looked like Jake going first to third on a grounder to right field, right in front of Bryce Harper's face.
Getting that bag.
Right foot, bam.
Trev, we are a Cron Pod, so we will stay a Cron Pod. The Tampa Bay Rays and the Cleveland Guardians, some said the least exciting series of these wild card games. I say no. We got two Shanes on the bump. Bieber versus McClanahan, two studs. The Rays draw first blood in the 6th inning. Siri, you remember him from Houston. He came over, a little Rays devil magic. He hits a solo homer. Top 6, is that going to be enough? Bottom 6, the bad man. Jose Ramirez takes an outside changeup. Oppo Taco clears it. It's 2-1. It would stay that way. They go Bieber to Class A. McClanahan got it to the meat cleavanger. Guardians take game 1, 2-1. Trevor, the first game of this playoffs, the office was running hot. I know Magnum Condom Studios is always running hot. What did you see in this game? What was the difference?
It was a pitcher's duel, man. This thing was moving. It was like the 6th or the 5th inning. I was like, it's gone an hour and 15. What's going to happen right now? And then we saw Siri. He was rocking the chains just like you're rocking. He had so many chains on. It was like he just opened the bag and put them all on or something. I don't know what was going on, but a great swing there. Feeling good. Tampa's like, this is all we need to do. We got our ace on the mound, and we'll run it to our bullpen, finish it off. But the problem is Jose Ramirez is a bad man. And you know what? The ball goes to right center a little bit there, but both those guys hit it that way. To be able to go that way like that, you got to juice it a little bit. You got to juice it, and he did it. And we had a little scare. I think I was texting C. Rosie when it happened, and Rosario. They were kind of challenging. Did he miss the base, go back and not touch the base again? End up that he did touch the base. Thank goodness. I was going live right there. Blake Snell was on my live telling me that Rosario touched the base. That's all I needed to hear. Ted Barrett came on, said he did. 2-1 Guardians. And this is how, if you're going to write the script, if you're Terry Francona for game 1 to go, this is exactly how it goes. Shane Bieber to Clase. And they had Karen Shack and Clase warming up there. I believe it was in the 8th inning. But and I was like, okay, who's he going to go to? And then my mom was like, you got Class A. You're going to Class A. And he did it. And that's it. And that is, it couldn't have worked out any better for the Guardians. They saved the rest of the bullpen. Bieber put that start up. And McClanahan was great too, but this is the kind of series we're kind of expecting. These offenses aren't going to crush the ball. They're not going to put up, 6, 7 runs in these games. It's going to be low scoring games because the pitching is there. The offenses are what they are. Timely hitting, man. And that's what the Guardians got today.
Yeah, the over-under for tomorrow, for those that are interested in that kind of thing, is 5.5, which is tragically low for a baseball game. And you saw why for different reasons today. Hey,
5.5?
Yeah. McClanahan and Bieber can obviously both pitch with anyone in the league. These lineups, especially the Rays, it's one game. You don't want to jump to conclusions too much in one game in any baseball world or league or anything. But, man, that lineup felt thin today. I mean, they finished with 3 hits. One of them is a pinch hit from Paredes. Otherwise, top of the lineup, 0 for 12, Yandy, Wander, and Randy. If those guys ain't doing it for them, it makes the spotlight a lot bigger on a Christian Bettencourt or a Taylor Walls or Siri, who, he gets the 1 home run today. I've always loved him. He's an electric factory. If he puts the ball in play, he's an elite baseball player. That's part of the problem, unfortunately. And yeah, like you said on that replay, watching the bench react, watching the whole vibe of that stadium was an awesome kickoff to this new playoff format and playoff weekend, wild card weekend. And yeah, I mean, for the Guardians, I guess the story's a little different. I mean, Jose Ramirez was Jose Ramirez, right? 2 for 4 with the home run. Ahmed Rosario, who had just an awesome, consistent year for the Guardians this year. He gets 2. Josh Naylor gets a hit. Jimenez got a hit. Miles Straw. So, they finished with 8 hits on the day. Tampa only had 3. And you mentioned Class A at the end and them going to him. Bieber throws 99 pitches. They go to Class A. Class A in 1.1 innings throws 11 pitches. And circle that when we get to the St. Louis game later, because like you mentioned, this is how Tito would have drawn it up if he could, and it worked out, and awesome. And Class A coming in, being able to throw strikes like that at the major league level, and guys can't hit you. Not many dudes are like that. So, what else, Trev? What else from this game?
Look, we said the Rays lineup. You got to have the guys be the guys. Kevin Cash said Randy's got to be Randy. His postseason stats are incredible. Okay, but if we're looking at the lineup right now, Yandy Diaz 0 for 4, Wander Franco 0 for 4, Randy Arozarena 0 for 4. And those guys struck out 6 times between them in those 12 at bats. So it wasn't a good day for the Rays offense. And you have to give credit to Bieber. I mean, Bieber has stuff, but he also has command. And when he has both of them working for you, you have to tip your cap, bro. He was just picking apart that lower quadrant on the outside corner to right-handed hitters with his fastball. He could dot that thing up whenever he needed to. So you have to respect that, okay? So that when you're a hitter that does a few things to you, you start to push your zone over that way. Okay, he's working that outside part of the plate. Now I got to set my sights there a little bit. The problem is that he can tunnel his off-speed pitches with that fastball so well that now that you're guarding for that fastball down and away, the slider comes there and it starts down and away and you're trying to protect, but that thing ends up off the plate and he just started expanding it. And there wasn't an adjustment made by the Rays hitters. There's a few breaking ball pitches that were in the zone. I think Randy got one he swung through. But for the most part, dude, I mean, Bieber was prime Bieber, dude, doing whatever he wanted with the ball. And he had a plan, and him and Hedges executed it masterfully, dude. And then, yeah, I thought it was funny because you have Shane Bieber doing his thing, and you have the number 9 hitter, Siri, up there. And he had 2 good swings off him, man. His first at bat hits a long fly ball to the track. Then he pumps him. And this is the guy you take Bieber out for to bring your closer in because you don't want the 9 hitter to face your guy a third time through, but that's just how it kind of works out sometimes. He was seeing the ball well. He had a couple good swings off him, and Francona's like, I ain't waiting around to see this shit. Let me bring in my dude that throws 100 with a freaking 94-mile-an-hour slider. Let me do that.
In the playoffs, it changes instantly. Whether it's Josh Bell later, he went from struggling immensely in his San Diego days to he homers in his first at bat, and it's like, okay, circle that guy. He's a problem. Same with Siri there. Man, I'm interested to see, and I think what's really important about this, I think a lot of people like the Guardians in this series. I think the Guardians on paper have all the talent. The question was, are they young? How will they react? And the other thing that horrified everyone, and you have to be honest with it, it's the Rays. We've seen this team do it year in, year out for half a decade, that when they're shutting you down, McClanahan's a stud. You know they've got dudes coming out of their bullpen. When they go up 1-0, there is a little bit of like a hush around the office, like, oh, like the Rays are down to Polka again? And I think I love punchback innings. I want it to become a stat that's tracked for teams. Jose Ramirez in the next bottom half of the inning, that they put up that 2 spot and they say, no, like your Rays devil magic is not welcome here. No, thank you. We're doing something. I'm interested to see if that impact carries into tomorrow and potentially Sunday if needed. But I think the Guardians showed today, like, you mentioned if Francona was to draw up this game, like, I think if we had to guess at a box score for this game, we wouldn't have been far off. Like, it would have been really tough to picture McClanahan or Bieber getting touched up by either of these lineups. And yeah, Guardians win 2-1.
They kept saying over and over on these games, the team that wins the first game of a 3-game set wins like 70-something% of the time, the series. It's very important to get game 1, especially when you're at home. And now you got Tristan McKenzie lined up with the Guardians, and you got the bullpen as fresh as can be. You can say the same thing about Tampa, though.
Yeah.
You got Glass now for 4, and then you got everybody behind him. I don't know if they're going to be all hands on deck. Is Rasmussen going to be in the bullpen? Probably. Is Springs going to be in the bullpen? Probably. Everyone's going to be out there. It's a must-win game for them. Win or go home. We're going to see a really small score tomorrow as well. 5.5 is absolutely crazy for a baseball game line as far as runs scored. And I'd say the under again, man. I could see like a 3-2 ball game tomorrow. This game was 2 hours and 18 minutes. It was the fastest game since 1999 in the postseason. It felt that way too. It was humming, dude. It was humming. Big pitchers were working fast. Defenses worked. I think there was one error on the in the game, but this is kind of what we expected from this series. Guardians got the first punch in, man. Now it's up for Tampa to respond, see what they do. This isn't over by any means. But damn, you got to be feeling good if you're a Guardians fan right now.
Yeah, that 70% number you used. I'm so interested to see the ba-ba-ba.
Where does that come from, by the way? Because this is a 3-game set.
I thought you just made it up, if I'm being real
They
with
kept
you.
saying it over and over, bro.
I never had that
across
stat.
Sports. I don't fucking know.
Just in life.
Because, look, we did have this before because someone yelled at me. I was like, dude, I told Chris Rose this. He's like, the Guardians don't ever win at home in the postseason. I said, shut up, bro.
Yeah.
It's the first time we've ever done this in baseball history. And someone's like, in 2020, we had also a 3-game wild card. I was like, dude, okay. But this whole thing, 12 teams in the postseason, blah, 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 is new. So I don't know where they got that stat, but I did keep hearing it. So I just mentioned it right now.
Well, and that's what I was saying, and I used Jake language. I said the ba-ba-ba. We've only seen one game. Let's see game 2. Because I'll tell you what, if the Rays take game 2 in Cleveland, the pressure instantly goes on the Guardians. And I think we can almost transfer over to what game 2 will look like a little more. Because you mentioned our guy Glass now. He'll be on the bump versus Tristan McKenzie, who is so good this year. By the way, you mentioned the speed of this game. Bieber, first Cleveland pitcher to go 7 innings pitch in a postseason game since your boy Roberto Hernandez, a.k.a. Fausto Carmona, who I think you got him as both.
Fausto, excuse
Yeah.
me, was my first ever homer. I went exactly where Jose Ramirez went today.
Oops.
I
Oppo
took that homer
juice.
to right center, and then I also homered off Roberto Hernandez.
I mean, that should be a bar trivia John Boy Media question one day.
Let's talk more about me. What else do you want to hear?
Trevor, tomorrow,
Okay.
Tristan McKenzie, like you said, I mean, pitching will be there. Glass now with a short leash. Tristan McKenzie with not as short of a leash with the year he's had, but bullpens are fresh, and if you're Cleveland, you play to win today, so you don't have to worry about tomorrow. I wonder what changes we see from the Rays. I wonder if you see Isaac Paredes get a start. He's a guy that's had a 3-homer game earlier this year, I believe. And if you're hunting for offense in a do-or-die series, I think you got to mix it up. We'll see what Cash and the Rays analytics crew has drawn up, but is there anything else you're thinking for tomorrow's ball game?
I think you just got to go play your game. I don't think this changes anything. The one game doesn't change your game plan. Like I said, you're fresh in the bullpen, all hands on deck. You got to have your guys be your guys. That top of the lineup has to produce in some way, shape, or form. Timely hits, homers, whatever it can be. We saw today. I mean, and people forget this about the postseason. We want to talk about the Guardians being this contact-oriented team and how that's going to mess with people and starting pitching and pitchers in the postseason. But it's about who homers. If you out-homer the other team, you're going to win. This one just happened to be there was a runner on base for the Guardians homer. That's it. So I think if you're the Rays, you just tip your cap a little bit. Shane Bieber was nasty. He was disgusting. Get some sleep tonight. You're back to work tomorrow. I don't think there's anything needs to change for either of these teams. I think it was a good old-fashioned baseball game, and it could have went either way.
Right. Game was decided by one swing, and each way, and that swing could be very different tomorrow. Yeah, that 5.5 under, the more and more I think about it, I might be riding with you on the under.